Okay, we're talking about the question, who am I? And this is in preparation for you to begin describing who you are and what your story is to a employer or a potential employer. And so with Danielle's help, we're going to create some uh, demonstration about how to do this. But just as a little bit of an overview, I want to introduce an acronym to you that is going to be really helpful to you with a little bit of a model so that you can actually relate things to people that are relevant and also prepare to tell your story a little bit. And that acronym is IDC. I stands for identity, D stands for direction, and C stands for connection. So here's a little story. In every conversation and every introduction that you make, subconsciously, the two people that are involved want to have three pieces of information. And if you get those, they'll feel like there is an actual introduction made, and they can make a choice of whether or not to continue the relationship with someone. And it's so simple, it may sound kind of silly, but the first one is an identity, which could be as simple as your name. Without that, there isn't going to be a connection made. So your name is a great part of your identity. Certainly goes deeper than that with characteristics and talents and history and things like that. Uh, but and we'll discuss that in the future a little bit here. The second, though, is direction. Like, where are you headed and where are you going? This is kind of a vector piece, which is a direction and a speed. If I were a college student, I might start like this. The identity piece was, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Steve Eldridge. And you would say, hi, I'm Jans Christensen. And the next question might be a direction question. Hey, what's your major? And so that is the direction piece. Oh, I'm a chemical engineering major. Really? So am I. Okay. So you both stated a direction, and suddenly connection takes care of itself. Interestingly, if you can't find a connection, the conversation kind of stalls. And so those are the three pieces that are so relevant to a connection. Usually when identity, direction, and connection are satisfied, there's usually an opportunity to exchange information, an email address or contact information or a telephone number or something like that. The reason there is that as soon as you satisfy to your, if you love what you see, you're going to want to reconnect with somebody, and that's where that exchange of information takes place. So that's how IDC works in a personal relationship. In a professional relationships, it's really a very similar kind of thing. In a professional setting, you want to know who you're speaking with, maybe a little bit about their title, what their relevance is. As you get the title, you'll see that the identity shifts into a direction. Oh, I'm the director of marketing. Oh, excellent. I'm the director of sales. And then pretty soon once you have that direction of what their aim is, whether it's increasing the bottom line through sales or increasing the message, then you can clearly see how being connected helps. This is called building a network, and it's the very same thing. IDC plays in the same way as it would in a personal relationship as it does in a professional relationship. So you would exchange information as well, and usually an email or contact, and you have a new contact to relate to when it comes time to do business together. Great way to make connections is understanding the basics, just like 1, 2, 3, IDC. So why does this matter? You have a personal IDC, you have a professional IDC. Both of them might be similar, or they might be somewhat separate. So why does this matter? Spending some time contemplating your own personal identity, your direction and connection. And the reason is this: your personal and professional story, they're the same story. They're not separated. So as you show up to join the workforce, if you don't know your personal story, there's no way you're really going to be able to tell your professional story. And certainly if you can combine the two and tell the story personally and professionally, you are able to connection that's so much stronger and so much more well-rounded. there is a phrase which makes it seem like work and personal life are separate. There's a couple of them actually, and they're really half truths. One is work-life balance. Well, there really is no such thing. And it makes sense when you realize that both your work and your personal life, especially in this modern world, are so combined. Your reachability is the same for your child care professional as it is for your boss. You're going to be available on a cell phone. And you want to make sure that you are fully representing your personal story as in both the personal and professional ways. So getting really good and spending the time to answer the question of who am I in a personal way is something that we first of all don't do very often. And if we can't define it ourselves, it's not going to be you're not going to have the ability to express it when it comes to your professional. You'll only have half the story. So we're going to get really good. I'm going to have Danielle spend some time going about how to mine this information so that you have it at the ready as we create your compelling story for your resume.